Hello, Evie and Ottilie, and a very good day from Nanny Joanne and Grandad Terry. I hope you're having a good day. So now Grandad is going to read you a story, and the story is called Two Bunnykins Out to Tea. So I hope you enjoy it. Once upon a bunny time, two little rabbits said goodbye to their family for the afternoon. They were going to tea with their grandmother. The little rabbits' names were Bunting Bunnykins and Babs Bunnykins. They were brother and sister. Picture. For tea, there were lettuce sandwiches made from lettuces grown in her grandmother's own garden. Grandma Bunnykins knew that every bunny likes lettuce sandwiches, but she wished that her two grandchildren did not grab and gobble quite so fast. After tea, their grandmother said, "Before you go home, I have a present to give you. It's a dolly that I have made for you." She brought it out of her sewing basket. The dolly was made of brown cloth that looked like fur, and had a white tail and long brown ears, just like a real little rabbit. Grandma Bunnykin said, "There, one dolly bunny between two little bunnykins, so you'll have to share it. You'll share it nicely, won't you?" "Oh yes, Grandma," said Bunting and Babs. "You'll be sensible little bunnies and not argue and quarrel and fight?" "Oh no, Grandma," said Babs and Bunting. They thanked their grandmother, and Bunting took one cloth paw of the dolly bunny in his paw, and Babs took the other cloth paw of the dolly bunny in her paw, and they said goodbye to their grandmother and started for home. No sooner were they outside their grandmother's front gate than Babs said to Bunting, "Dollars are for girls," and she snatched the dolly bunny from Bunting. Bunting said, "Dollars are not just for girls. They're for anyone really small and young, and I'm smaller and younger than you are." And he snatched the dolly bunny back. "Because I'm older than you are, I'm stronger," said Babs, and she snatched the dolly bunny back again and ran away with it. Perhaps that would be better. Bunting ran after her, but Babs was older and stronger and faster. He couldn't catch up with her. Then he took off his red jacket so that he could run on all fours like a little wild rabbit. He ran and he ran and he ran so fast that he caught up with Babs and snatched the dolly bunny back from her and ran away with it. Then Babs ran after Bunting. At first she couldn't catch up with him, but then she took off her little spotted dress so that she could run on all fours like a wild rabbit. She ran and she ran, and she ran so fast that she caught up with Bunting and grabbed at the dolly bunny to snatch it back. This time Bunting did not let go. He hung on to the legs of the dolly bunny, and Babs pulled on the arms and head of the dolly bunny. Bunting bit Babs with his sharp little teeth to make her let go, but she wouldn't. Instead, she scratched Bunting with her sharp little claws to make him let go, but he wouldn't. So there they were, one pulling on the legs end of the dolly bunny and the other pulling on the head end of the dolly bunny. They pulled and they pulled and they pulled. At last there was a dreadful tearing sound, and the poor dolly bunny came apart in the middle. Bunting sat down suddenly holding the legs end, and Babs sat down suddenly holding the head end. Then, "Oh dear," they both said together. Very, very sadly they put on their clothes again and went back to their grandmother's house to show her what had happened. "Well, you were silly bunnies to quarrel and fight," said their grandmother. "Now you've nothing to play with." "Could you sew the two halves of our dolly bunny together again?" asked Bunting. "If you did," said Babs, "we'd never quarrel over it again. We promise." "We promise," said Bunting. "Oh, bunny honour, on bunny honour." I'll see what I can do, said their grandmother. Come back tomorrow at tea time. There's the poor old Dolly Bunny. The next day, Babs and Bunting went to tea with their grandmother again. They were very well behaved little bunnies this time. They said please and thank you, and were careful not to grab and gobble their lettuce sandwiches. There was no sign of the Dolly Bunny. After tea, they asked their grandmother if she had sewn the two halves of their Dolly Bunny together again. The grandmother shook her head and said no. Then Babs and Bunting looked very doleful. That's very sad. Their grandmother said, fetch me my sewing basket, and they did. Then she said, I'm going to give back to Babs the head half of the Dolly Bunny, and I give you both, as I gave you both, and I should give back to Bunting the legs half of that same Dolly Bunny. Their grandmother reached into her basket and took out the head half of the old Dolly Bunny, but she had made a new legs half for it, and sewn the two halves together into one whole Dolly Bunny. That was for Babs. And she also took from her basket the legs half of the old Dolly Bunny, and she made a new head half for it and sewn the two halves together into one whole Dolly Bunny for Bunting. There, said their grandmother, a dolly for each of you, instead of a dolly between you. Oh, thank you, the two little bunnykins cried, and they hugged their Dolly Bunnies and danced around and round for joy. Very happy bunnykins. And when you next come to tea, said their grandmother, I'll show Bunting how to make a little jacket for his dolly, and I'll show Babs how to make a little dress for hers. That's a promise. So the two little bunnykins went happily home to their family, each with a Dolly Bunny to play with, and their father and mother said, little bunnies always should play together and be good. And that is the end of this bunny tale. And there we are. So I hope you enjoyed the story, and have a lovely day, and we shall see you when we can. Okay, so until then, love from Nanny Joanne and Grandad Terry. Bye Evie, bye Ottilie.